One of my great missionary heroes is the Scottish explorer, emancipator of slaves, and most important of all, of course, Christian missionary to Africa, namely David Livingstone. As he set out for Africa for the first time, he worshipped and prayed with his family at home and read Psalm 121, along with 135. While he was on his travels in Africa, his mother-in-law, the wife of another great missionary, Robert Moffat, wrote to him assuring him that as she prayed for him, it was on the basis of Psalm 121. And this psalm, the second of the 15 songs of ascent, has long been a great favorite of Christians, as in times of danger or perhaps in unknown territory, they have found comfort and strength in its words. As I mentioned in the introduction to this group of psalms, they seem to have been arranged in such a way so as to reflect something of the journey to Jerusalem as the pilgrim worshippers made their way to worship, often from a great distance. If that's the case, then it may well have been that Psalm 121 was written as the travelers got their first sight of the hills that famously surrounded Jerusalem as they came into view. And you can imagine their hearts beating just a little faster as a result. Now, remembering that repetition is one of the key ways in which Old Testament scriptures emphasize important points, there can be little doubt here of the key thought, which is that of God being the keeper of his people. The ESV has helpfully, consistently translated the Hebrew as keep or keeps or keeper, coming as it does 6 times in these 8 verses. And the word used there means to hedge about or to protect. And it's variously used in the scriptures of a shepherd watching over his sheep or a man guarding his house. Verses 1 to 2 remind us that God is our maker. Now, the question posed to and answered by himself, I think here, has often been misunderstood. Not for a moment is he suggesting that his help comes from the hills, but rather from the one who made the hills. In Old Testament days, there were no established roads across the country as we would be familiar with, and journeys could be fraught with all sorts of dangers. Think of the man going down from Jerusalem to Jericho in Jesus' parable of the Good Samaritan. There could be wild animals and all sorts of other perils along the way. And as we go through our earthly journeys, also fraught with one sort of danger or another, our help too comes from the one who made all things and therefore who is in control of and rules over all things. And that's the point of that description of God here. That description, by the way, comes twice more in these songs of ascents, in Psalm 124 and 134, as well as in Psalms 115 and 146. I like this phrase of the commentator Derek Kidner, who wrote, "The thought of this verse leaps beyond the hills to the universe, beyond the universe to its maker. Here is living help, primary, personal, wise, immeasurable." So God is our maker, and then in the rest of the psalm, God is our keeper. Now, without going into all the detail in these verses, 3 truths are spelled out for us. In 3 to 4, God is our keeper continually. What a wonderful promise. He neither slumbers nor sleeps, always watchful over us, never growing tired or weary, never taking his eyes off us. In 5 to 6, God is our keeper comfortingly. If you've ever lived in or visited a Middle Eastern country or one with a similar climate, you will have experienced, as I have, those times when the heat of the sun is searingly painful and you need to seek out some much needed shade. Our psalmist is reminding us here that whether the dangers we face in life's journey come by day or by night, we can and will know the protection of our Maker, who is continually our keeper. And then in 7 and 8, God is our keeper comprehensively. In these verses, it's as if the writer wants to make sure that he includes every possible eventuality. He moves with increasing intensity, it seems to me, from all evil to all life to all activity for all time, from this time forth and forevermore. Now, none of this means, of course, we have to say, that we have as believers some sort of certificate of immunity from danger or harm. But what the scriptures teach us again and again is that while God doesn't always protect us from danger, he always protects us in danger. Isn't this Old Testament promise echoed, for example, in Paul's gloriously assuring words at the end of Romans 8, that nothing in the entire universe of which God is the maker, including ourselves, can separate us from him, whether in life or in death? Friends, I'm so glad that God has not revealed to me in detail what the future of my life on earth looks like. He has told me in scripture that there will be trials and tribulations along the way. But he's also told me that there will never be one step I take or one danger I face that will be outside the scope of his keeping of me.